This day 1526 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. They're doing Yerodeh Siman Reis, starting Vav, Siman Ayin Aleph to Ayin Tes. Getting there. Ayin Aleph. A house which is half roofed over and half not. Find nutrient sides there, and grapevines are one side. Plant vegetables on the other side. Pitikra, the lip of the roof. Nechshaba says it's as if it comes down and closes off like a fence. Kamei Shabbos came to also true in terms of Shabbos. It's like a wall. Being Mishvah's Curio, if you, however, equalized. Better word than that. Whatever. Equalize the roof. Klomar, Shakira Kul. In other words, you put on the rest of the roof. The Pitikra is gone. Vos, it's forbidden. If you left the seeds, Mizman Yishla, from the time that you finished the roof, and then it added 1/2 of its gold. But you should know the law meaning Peter Yervasasim Karen Zavis. Now let's say Peter Yervasasim on an angle. The Lobagag Mashupa nor in a sloped roof. Lokshana Kiri Arba Tvachim nor if the roof does not have 4 Tvachim. Kavur Berger Chaim Simon Shin Samchav Ayin Sham. Mistam Hu Adin the Kilaim, it's also true in terms of Kilaim. Because the Gemara even links the two topics. But in this respect, there's a difference. By Shabbos, you not say Pitikra, there's only one wall. You always say it on one side. You always say one wall, according to Shmuel there. Is on 4 sides. The line for Kilaim just pass out 4 walls, as if it's the 4 walls. So on Shabbos, in order to say Pitikra, you need to have 2 walls adjacent to each other, and which comes out by definition to be 3 walls, although not necessarily. And therefore it's only a 4th side, and whereas by Kilaim, you can say Pitikra all 4 walls. Ayin base. Amina Meirvin. It says himself in the Chatziktana, if you have a small yard, which is completely open into a larger yard. From the perspective of being in the small yard, there's no posts left on either side. But if you look from the perspective of a large yard, there are posts. The posts on either side of the entry to the small yard. So in this case, we say that the larger yard has rights in the lower yard, and not vice, or small yard, and not vice versa. The large yard controls or rules over the small one. And draws it to itself. The entire yard the small yard is in the big yard. I will have not vice versa. Therefore, if there are grapevines in a large yard, also you're not allowed to plant in the small yard. I feel at a distance. Being bizarre, and if you did plant the seeds are forbidden. Because as if the grapevines are standing in amongst them. But the grapevines are permitted. Because vis-a-vis it, the seeds are not considered to be planted in it. Because they had the posts on either side of the entry to the small yard. So the opening of the small yard, even though it's throughout the entire small yard, and that side is still considered like a pesach, like a doorway for the large one. But that's only if the breach is not more than 10 amos. If the other hand, if you have grapevines in the small yard, is also allowed to plant the large yard with seeds, vegetables, or grain, even deliberately. The grapevines in the small one cannot answer the seeds in the large one. And even when the seeds grow, they will not forbid the grapevines. But the reason is because the name of the big yard is on the small yard. Therefore, when the grapevines in the large yard, small one is also considered to be a vineyard. But not vice versa. The name of the small yard is on the big yard. Vein shem kerem al agdoil. There is no chalei shem kerem on the large yard. Shekfarim katana when the vines are in the small yard. Dimishum sheyesham sleda aktana. Shem sleda aktana. I made a small. There's a chalei shem sleda. I told like bir rakol shem kerem. Torah's only marking the name of kerem. The chsiv lo Caesar karmecha kilayim. Says don't plant your kerem kilayim. Don't plant in your vineyard kilayim. Lo chsiv sadcha lo tida kerem. They'll say don't plant in your vineyard in your field a vineyard. Okay, normally that doesn't make a difference. I guess this is a unique case, and therefore it does make a difference. If you have a trench which is passing through a vineyard, it's 4 tvachim deep, 10 tvachim deep, sorry. Why? If it goes from end to end, from the beginning of the vineyard to the end, this looks like it's a independent area between two vineyards, which is you plant inside the trench, some seeds or vegetables. As long as the grapevines do not, their foliage is not shade over the trench. If it doesn't go from end to end, it's like a wine press in the middle of a vineyard. Even though it's 10 tvachim deep and 4 tvachim or more wide, it's considered to be part and parcel of the service of the vineyard. Camp within it, and again, unless you had a bald spot of 16 amos. If you have a path between two vineyards, so it's also like a vineyard which has gone desolate in the middle. So it's a bald spot in the vineyard. If it has 16 amos, you did sell 4 amos each side, but you can plant the rest. Less than that, you should not bring any seed there. Like he wrote over there in Allah for Karach. Ein Dal, Tanan Perakei, we learned in the 5th parak of Mishnah Gimel, Shomer Shebekerem. What's a Shomer? Vutal Gavah, it's a high mount. Shomer Omer Alav, on which the watchman stands, Lishmor HaKerem, to watch the vineyard. For him, he sees the difference. He says that's from the Rambam, the Rash, and the Ra'ab, or the Bartnura, and the Parish in Shulchan Sifnun Beis is a tos. Whatever that is. Gavah Sarocha Barba, if it's 10 tvachim high and 4 tvachim wide, you can plant in it. Zoram writes as follows: you can plant at its top vegetable. You have 3 nogin bo as long as the branches of the grapevines do not touch it. It's not like the wine press in the vineyard, which is surrounded by the airspace of the vineyard. So that's it's forbidden. But the watchtower is high. And the airspace of Kerem is not surrounded in that sense. So the Ram writes, if the top of the Shemer is square, if the top of the Shemer is circular, needs it has a, it's like the square within the circle, a 4 tvachim area, in order that it should be distant from the earth. It also needs dirt on top above 3 tvachim. I'm not sure what he means by 3 tvachim here. Besides the 10. Let's see. Shalachah b'sif nun beis. Sem b'sham ayin sham. Sem b'sham afarish b'pirish d'mayre b'roch of arba tzimtzum. It's if it's 4 by 4 precise. The claim beruba that's enough if by square. But by a circle, then the angles will be cut off. So therefore, you need to have a large area. Near the cloud. And that's not clear to me all. It should have said in that case that by a circle, you need more of a more width. Whatever will be actually say wherever is a square is 4 tvachim. Sounds like a surface area. In other words, you would see 16 square tvachim. Not that you need to have the square within the circle, but you need 16 square tvachim. Come up with kaveres. So what's the language of a vacant space of 4 tvachim? Yearly the hockey. It seems it is the pshat. But Meruba Mechsi Kabinyan. If it's square, it looks like a structure. But it's just in the outside, it's jurisdiction unto itself. But if it's round, Mexicates Balma. Looks like a tree trunk. Even if it's very broad, it's not effective. It's null vis-a-vis the vineyard. It has a vacant space of 4 tvachim, and there's dirt on top of the 3 tvachim. Yes, the Chashiva says it's not negated to the vineyard. V'zorim alav, you can plant on it. Vayikar, in the primary halacha is la'akol tzarech heker rav v'lo lemruva. For anything which is round, you need more of a cognition than you need by square. Shouldn't be mruva sheitim gracious, because Chazal tells you, show me, I forget where it is, somewhere, that there's nothing square in the creation. Well, all squares are artificial. Nothing square in the creation. So therefore, it's unique. As opposed to something round, where it doesn't look as artificial, Yerushalmi, as explained by that Yerushalmi. If you have a house in a vineyard, if it's more than 3 by 3 tvachim, you can plant inside of vegetables. Less than 3 by 3, and it's like it's closed up, can't plant inside it. That's Lashon Rambam and Shulchan Aruch. The Echadin, b'shloshim mitzutzom lo biruv. It's precisely 3. They didn't explain Allah. Mushami more that have a case of mishlosh. If it's precisely 3, it's like it's more than 3. Mohammed Shem says that mishlosh b'arba mashtim arba b'zorem yad. From 3 to 4, you make it up to 4, and you plant immediately. Klomar k'shum pachas mi'arba tvachim. When it's less than 4 tvachim, lo yizva b'samuk l'kfanim toch arba tvachim ap ba'bayis. You shouldn't plant within 4 tvachim, even inside the house. She believes 4 tvachim distant. It's difficult. This halach is not brought down. Ayin vav. Kevin Yechid shows into b'toch habika b'toch hachritz. You have a solitary grapevine. It's planted in a depression or in a trench. Marchikim menu shisha tvachim chol ruach. You did stuff 6 tvachim each side of the rest called charitz, and you plant in the entire trench. Kadesh oisim mokamesha like you do on a plane. Avok shachritz ok a sort of swasritz mala rochav arba. But if the trench is deep and the lip of the trench, it's 4 tvachim wide. Rochav arba. The cavity is 4 tvachim wide. Nimtza shu kirshus hayachid amok a sort of rochav arba. So it's like because it's 4 deep and 4. It's by 4. So it's a shus unto itself. And you can't put under anything, even though this is of 6 tvachim. So if you designate the entire trench for the purpose of this grapevine, it's its own independent jurisdiction. It's like a solitary grapevine. Which is found by a fence 10 tvachim high. V'rachav abar 4 tvachim wide. Lo yizar b'cham mechis can't put it in the entire wall. Even though this is sub 6 tvachim. With the Yevet, after the fact, if he did this in 6 tvachim, and you planted, lo kidesh doesn't consecrate, it's not forbidden. The ikar din turned out b'shish tvachim because midorais is 6 tvachim enough. As Shachila also, but Chom said, better not to. What's the boundary line, whether it's a trench or a fence, where you should not plant deliberately in the entire chritz or the entire goder? 4 amos on each side. I put a scam, not 6 tvachim. It's no different than a whole vineyard and a plain. More than 4 amos distance, mutually zor kochitz can plant the balance of the trench or the entire fence. Ayin Zayin. Da you should know the fact. Vav the kilayim shona lo rabbeinu hakodesh. Kamish lines within aris upiske aris. Rabbi Yossi teaches several halachas about the trellises. Uvam dinim chamurim mistam netilas kefayim, more severe halachas than generic planting of grapevines. And even 1 row can be considered to be a vineyard. We have to explain this matter. The Rambam explains as follows. Grapes is grew naturally. And their branches and clusters are cast on the ground, because that's how grapevines grow close to the ground. Avo se como mita, but it makes like a bed, or como savach, or like a net. Gavoa mi it's high above the ground. Kadeshu ashkolos basiyin nishotel, so that the clusters and the branches should be on it. Vikbiya gufa kfanim meaning alaretz, he lifted up the body of the grapevines also from the ground. Al oisa hamita by some put them in that bed or extended them. Harez nikra, that's called an oris trellis. But also makta hakanim chayetzebem, and those reeds, etc., from which you mita, which you made the bed or the stretcher. Oh, shesavacha weave the lamb, and you put over them as gufagefen the totality of the vineyard. Hey, they call apipurus. These are called apipurus. The dinim el achem yesh baris, and the different halachas by oris. Eiches case at how so? Hanoteya shura chashulchim shekvar. If you have plant one row of 5 grapevines. Oh, yoser, more. If you're gabi kaisa gavasa chayetza behind you, then you put them, make a trellis out of them. Atabo which is 10 fucking high, etc. Oh, should need not to mitzad choritza mokav. So you plant them on the side of a trench. It's 10 fucking deep. V'achar bar 4 fucking wide. Hareli climb aris. They're called an aris. So rachik min aris arba amos. You have to yourself even from the trellis 4 amos. Mobistam kerem, like a default vineyard. B'shtei shuros, which has the classic 2 rows. There's aris yeshua chashibas yoyis, because the trellis gives them added significance. V'achrei arba amos. So this one, when it's going to pass for amos, you'll have to plant. Mecha modei arba amos. Already measures for amos. V'ikra gader sheslov, not from the tree, from the base of the fence on which you cantilever them. So it extends much further out. Aintes, because of Rambam Shamadin Gimel, the Rambam writes, V'shuchon Sim Nuches Kesed, also. He can assure me that Shukfarim, Makosel Amma, the row of grapevines is an arm away from the wall. Nimtza Aris Minagfanim, here, Nimtza Aris Minagfanim Lakosel, and you find the trellis between the grapevine and the wall. Moidim in a case of Arba Amos, so you have to measure from the wall for Amos to plant. The Nimtza Bain has there been a correct faring, so it comes up between the seeds and the roots of the grapevines, Shemona Amos for 8 Amos. Vim Bali, so I'm finding my plant next to the grapevines, Marchim, Mikorek, finding Arba Amos, this is up from the trunks of the grapevines, 4 Amos. The Nimtza Shemona Rochim, Minakoisa, Shemona Amos. So the other direction, right? Just not about where you go over the fence. There's where you go trellis away from the fence. So still, you have to get 8 amos away from the fence. Enough 5 amos. 5 amos. Because we're talking about an amo gap. Chamisha amos. So there's the Zanim B'chol Oretz is true about any Oretz. For Rabbi Yisilov, the Rabbi kindness, how could you be more distancing from behind a wall? Because when I say the wall's interruption, distance shows only be outside of the grapevines. Adarabah, the contrary, Kulu, it should be leading. When you measure from the fence, Arba Amos, such as when from fence to the grapevines is 2 Amos. And it's this is up from the Kvanim, Rakshte Amos, only 2 Amos. So because wall makes up the rest. The base Hillel, this Rilu came Mishnah Dores Ayin Shom. So Memish is that totally with Kluba Gus says Yisham. This is the version of Yishami. So look at his Mishnah. Any maybe it feels the Das Rabbit. Because I was showing, I understand anyway because Rabbit. If Shash let's Arab Amos the correct fine. How can I require 4 hours from the trunks of the grapevines? You can't start an Alma earlier because the fence on one side. You gotta start from the grapevines. The reason is because you have the work area of the vineyard. Is that made a correct fine? That's in the roots of the grapevines. Some I have to say it came on a theme say since the branches are lying on the trellis, which is the fence, and so Dalad Amos to be correct fine avoida. You only need 4 amos from the trunks of the trees for the avoda. Rakmi agoder only starting from the fence. But Daish on the Kesa, a gather, and a Kois the same parameters. When you call it gather, so it's called a gather, so it goes sometimes a wall. Mamshich Haaretz Acham, and the Haaretz continues on to wherever it continues. Okay. Outside, that's outside the field, whatever it is. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. Goes wherever it goes on. You say that extends the parameters from 4 hours, like we said, 4 to 5 hours.